A lot of people disagreeing, a lot of people feeling pretty worked up, and a lot of people dividing each other from their opinions. And I want to try and just bring us together a bit tonight, because I'm not going to tell you how to feel. I'm not going to tell you what I think you should feel. I just want us to be happy. And that seems to have escaped a lot of the narrative today. In that, yes, the game was frustrating. Yes, the situation with Trent was what it was. But ultimately, we should be celebrating. We should be rejoicing. And we should be looking forward to the future. So you and I can't change Trent's decision, or we can't change what might happen on the pitch, but we can change how we react to it and how we treat each other. So tonight I thought I'm going to come on and I'm going to try and be upbeat and positive and not try to ram my opinions down your throat, because I've really felt sad over the last hour or so, just seeing the back and forth with so many. And I'm not above it either, to be honest with you. I've certainly had a few things I got off my chest, but it's sad. And I don't want our fan base to be divided at a time where we should be celebrating. And it's not about getting behind the boys, not getting behind the boys. I'm talking about just us to each other as fans. You know, often as a football fan, and the tribal aspect that goes with it, it's us against the world, right? It's us sending a signal out there that we're going to stand our ground and we're going to support our club and our team. And I hate it when we turn on each other, whether it's over tickets, whether it's over transfers, whether it's over opinions on how the club is being run. I don't like it. There's enough people out there trying to bring us down, and I don't want us doing it to ourselves. So let's try and be positive, let's try and be upbeat, and let's try and have a look to the future and what may be possible in this summer transfer window. So over the course of the next however long we're on, we're going to be discussing just that. What can we do in the summer? Who's likely to depart? And we're going to give you our thoughts on it. We're going to give you some thoughts from journalists, some links, and of course, feel free to contribute in the comments as much as you can. Right. There was punch-ups on the cop. I know, I've seen so much stuff. I've had messages from people who were at the game today, you know, on both sides of this Trent debate. But either way, what's been has been and what's happened has happened. You know, I'm not going to tell other people they should or shouldn't boo. I'm not going to tell anybody else how to feel. I'll give you my opinion. That's all I can do. But on this one, I just want Liverpool fans, again, us to be happy and celebrate and look forward. And I think we do have a lot to look forward to. There's no denying that this team needs a little bit of tweaking, that there are positions that needs to be upgraded. So let's talk about that rather than what we, you know, can change, which is what happened today at Anfield, how some people reacted, how others reacted. You know, I've got my own gripes with some of the reporting around it. I think there's a lot of, how do I say this, a lot of moral high horse speaking from certain journalists who, again, are talking down to Liverpool fans, and I don't like that. I don't like to see it. It is a situation that was preventable today, whichever way you want to look at it. But what I don't like, Liverpool fans and Liverpool fan journalists, I can stomach having an opinion on this. But what I don't like is other club fans or the likes of Rio Ferdinand trying to tell everybody else how to feel. Because quite simply, it's hypocrisy of the highest order. You know, if Manchester United under Alex Ferguson seen Paul Scholes leave at 26 to go anywhere after leaving on a free, I don't for one second believe that that wouldn't be met with frustration. We see Grealish still get booed going to Villa after the bringing them in 100 million. I've seen Lallana and other players booed when they played for Liverpool and we've gone back to Southampton. So I'm all up for letting Liverpool fans and Liverpool journalists have an opinion, but the outside, the people who just want to bring us down, they can fuck right off. And whether that is former players or whom else, their opinions I've no time for because they're irrelevant. They're quite simply just trying to stir the pot and undermine a season that they didn't want happening anyway. So leave them all to it. If they don't want us to succeed, well, I don't really care what they have to say. Harty said it wouldn't have happened if Trent spoke out months ago. Maybe, maybe not. You know my take, mate. I said, like you said, he should have spoken out a long time ago. I just think this situation today was entirely avoidable. Don't bring him onto the pitch and nothing happens. And the game doesn't get spoken about. Sky can't get enough of this, by the way. You know, I spoke to you guys earlier on in saying that when Mohamed Salah was named Football Writers Association Player of the Year, you had to look hard to find that on the Sky Sports app. But after this game today, you don't have to look very hard to find 5 or 6 different stories about the fans' reaction to Trent. And that is, to me, an undermining of our club that I find sickening, quite frankly. Because, yeah, you want your clickbait stuff, don't you? You want to drive traffic while still pretending to be this institution that has the good of the game at heart. They know what sells and they know what works. Tapping into Liverpool fans and opposition fans' frustration at what happened today is what the angle they seem to be going with. And I find it pathetic, in all honesty. So the most disappointing thing is we don't look like champions. And Arne doesn't look like a champion winning manager with his decisions lately, worrying for next year. The one comment that's worried me actually from Arne is him speaking about, and I'm paraphrasing here somewhat because I don't think I have the full quote to hand. He said something along the lines of, my decision bringing him on was to try and win the game, and I'll bring him on against Crystal Palace as well if I want to try win the game. And I get that. I get that he wants to bring Trent on to maybe try win the game because Trent can make a difference. But where that kind of starts to fall down with me is, well, why are you bringing Darwin on? Because whatever we think about the Trent situation, yes, Trent has the ability to change a game, to make a pass or a cross that will lead to a goal. But what was bringing Darwin on going to do? That's what confused me today, because we know that he is not going to add anything positive in attack. We know that he's not going to turn the game around or grab it by the scruff of the neck. So why bring him on? There are some mixed messages from our manager that confuse me. You know, bringing on a player like Darwin there, who, as I said, his form's been terrible, but more importantly, his attitude towards our football club has been terrible. So for all the talk of respect, why has there been no talk of the disrespect that he showed to the club by making out like the only reason he wasn't being played was over 5 million, not playing well? And for me today, Salah didn't play well. And I would have taken him off earlier. Well, he didn't come off, but I would have taken him off. I would have left Diaz on the pitch. Like, there are some decisions like that I find confusing. Madrid Extra posted this. Now, it's got nothing to do with Trent, but some Real Madrid fans have decided to go to Valdebebas to wait for the players to arrive from Barcelona because they got beaten today by Barcelona 4-3 and threw away a 2-goal lead. That's the level of holding players to account that you get over there at Real Madrid. So, yeah, I don't think that's anything Liverpool players have ever had to worry about. Coming back from a game and being met with angry fans. That's, enjoy that one now, Trent. Joshua said, Trent getting booed was interesting to see. Fans will not tolerate bullshit, and I like it. Look, again, I think everybody has their own right to express how they feel. I just don't like the pile-on for people that have an opinion. So, like, I'm going to read this out to you. And it annoyed me because I'm getting fucking sick of Ian Doyle looking down his nose at Liverpool fans. But this was the headline in an opinion piece from him in the Echo. Liverpool's response to Trent was disgraceful and self-destructive. It played into Arsenal's hands. That's one viewpoint of it. Another viewpoint is, why bring him on to let the situation happen? And who gets the blame here? Because, you know, he loves to look down his nose at some Liverpool fans and say that we're all, you know, football championship manager people that want 500 million spent. But now he's given out to the hardcore match-going fans that weren't happy. Make up your mind. Is it the overseas non-match-going fans' fault, or is it the in-stadium fans' fault? He can't seem to make up his mind who to be angry about, Mr. Doyle, but always feels like he's got the moral high ground. Always. And it really, really winds me up about him, because he feels and writes and acts as if he's above the rest of us, and he isn't. And yes, he's entitled to have his opinion, the same as everybody else. And I'm entitled to sit here and say that I think he's an idiot. So, you know, freedom of expression and all that. He can write what he wants, and I can sit here and tell him I think he's a clown. Because he's a judgmental, jumped up git that loves to look down his nose at Liverpool fans. Because they don't perhaps take the soup and drink the club Kool-Aid and do everything that Ian Doyle wants them to do. And I'm done with him, and I'm fed up of him. And I wonder who he think he represents when he's writing, because I don't know any Liverpool fan that has good things to say about him. I'm sick of him. Him and everybody else that thinks they get to look down their nose at the rest of us. Done with them. Absolute clowns. I'm fed up of it. Mood with the fans is toxic and can understand it. Trent should not have played. That, look, I agree with that. I do. I agree with that, because I think we could have avoided the situation today. But then again, there's so many different ways you can look at that as well. You can say that Arne Slot's perfectly within his rights to put a player on that he thinks can help in a game. You can say that this could have been dealt with a long time ago if it had have been spoken about more upfront and open. You can make an argument that could have avoided this situation today if Trent had waited a few more weeks to make his announcement. You can look at it from 10 or 12 different angles and have a viewpoint that makes sense. But all we know is what did happen. And what did happen was the atmosphere went weird. And it was a strange situation for everybody concerned.